What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. In the last episode, we collected all 50 Maiamais here in Hyrule, and in this episode, we're going to do the same exact thing, except this time in Lowrule. Yes, it was so nice we had to do it twice, but at least we had a nice change of scenery, and the Maiamais in Lowrule are a little bit closer together. Speaking of which, here's our first Maiamai. So now, we've only got 49 to go. Now, the next Maiamai that we want to collect is on the left side of the blacksmith shop here in Lowrule. So just merge onto the right, go all the way around, and you can pick this guy up no problem. Directly north of there, if you lift up the leftmost boulder, you can find yourself the next lost Maiamai. The next Maiamai is located inside a tree near the southeast entrances to the Thieves' Town. On the southwest side of the Thieves' Town, you'll find this broken down shack. Just merge onto the wall and pop the baby Maiamai off and pick it up. South of the Thieves' Town, you'll find the big bomb flower. Either chop down the grass surrounding it or blow it up, and you'll find yourself the next Maiamai. The next Maiamai is located inside of the Lowrule version of Rupee Rush. Just make your way to the northwest corner and pop it off the wall. If you head over to where the Octoball Derby minigame is and break these skulls on the left side, you'll get yourself another Maiamai. To get this next Maiamai stuck up on the wall, we need to travel back to Hyrule. We've previously used these portals to get another Maiamai in Hyrule, where we lifted up that giant rock to get it, except this time, we're doing the puzzle in reverse. That way we end up on a higher ledge in Lowrule, and from there, we can merge onto the wall again and pop off the baby Maiamai. That way we can easily collect it. So overall, it's really just doing the same puzzle in reverse. But there we go, we got the next Maiamai. Just west of the vacant house, you'll find this giant boulder. Lift it up, and bam, you just scored yourself another Maiamai. If you approach Lowrule Castle on the right side, you'll find a Maiamai just hanging onto the wall, so pop it off and put it in your pocket. South of Hyrule Castle, if you run into the tree off the right of this path, you can get yourself another Maiamai. If you head into the Lowrule Swamp Ruins, you can immediately find a Maiamai chilling on the wall to the right, so just pop it off and pick it up. If you head slightly southeast in the Swamp Ruins, you should see these three pillars. All you gotta do is run into them and knock down the Maiamai. To the left of the entrance to this area, you should see a pond. Dive down in the center of these rocks and you'll get yourself another Maiamai. Just below the portal you used to get to Misery Mire, you'll find two large boulders. Lift up the bottom one and you'll get yourself a Maiamai. The next Maiamai is very easy to collect. It's actually located north of the Weather Vane in Misery Mire. Just pop it off, and you're good to go. If you travel to the very left side of Misery Mire, you should see the next Maiamai chilling on the bottom of the seafloor. Just dive down and pick it up. Now we are in the Turtle Rock area. All the way on the left, you'll find a giant boulder. Lift it up, and underneath, you'll find yourself a Maiamai. If you go to the ledge where the Hyrule Hotfoot guy would be if we were in Hyrule, you can merge onto the wall, and you'll travel all the way around the outskirts until you get to another ledge. Over here, just pick up the skull and check it out. There's your next Maiamai. If you head south from where you just were and dodge and weave through all the enemies, you can easily merge onto this wall and pick up the next lost Maiamai. If you follow the wall on the right side of Turtle Rock, eventually you'll find a Maiamai sitting in between 5 small rocks. Just dive down to pick it up. On the west side of Turtle Rock, all the way to the south of the shield shop, you'll find this Maiamai stuck on a wall. Just pop it off and you're good to go. Here in the Dark Palace area, if you go directly left of the palace, you'll find a Maiamai stuck to a wall, so you know what to do. The next Maiamai is located on the wall directly above the leftmost entrance to the Dark Palace area. Outside of the Dark Palace area, and to the east, you'll find these rock mounds. Just run to the one with the Maiamai on top of it. On the ledge to the right of the portal to the Dark Palace area, if you merge onto the wall and again travel all the way around, you'll eventually reach this ledge with a line of rupees. At the end of it, there's a Maiamai waiting on a wall, so just pop it off, and well, let's go to the next one. Below the leftmost entrance to the Dark Palace area, there's a tree. Dash into it, and you'll get yourself a Maiamai. To the immediate right of that, if you dash into the next tree that you see, again, you'll find yourself another Maiamai. If you head all the way north, you can jump into the river and dive down underneath this waterfall to get yourself another Maiamai. Merging on the wall to cross the gap between rivers, once you get to the other side, you can immediately dive down and get yourself another Maiamai. To the right of the canyon, if you merge onto the wall to cross it, you'll eventually reach this area where you merge onto the wall and see a ton of grass. Cut it all down and you'll get yourself a Maiamai. If you go north of where you just were, you'll find this big riverbed. Dive down near the rocks near the waterfall and you'll get yourself another Maiamai. To the left of the Lowrule Sanctuary, there's a giant boulder. Lift it up and underneath is the next Maiamai. One screen to the right of the sanctuary, you'll find the next Maiamai on the wall. We passed this one as we were collecting all the Maiamais in Hyrule. If you head all the way to the southeast area of the Lowrule Sanctuary, you'll find a lone tree. Run into it to pick up the next Maiamai. Here we are in the Lost Woods area. There is a Maiamai on the left side of the house that has the portal to Hyrule's Kakariko on it. Near the middle entrance to the Skull Woods, you'll see a giant boulder. Lift it up, and guess what? There's another Maiamai for you. If you travel from the leftmost entrance, you'll eventually find this little alcove with some grass, and inside is another Maiamai. If you go all the way to the top left of the Skull Woods, you'll find the next Maiamai underneath the skull in some grass. If you run yourself into the tree below the broken down hut where we got a piece of heart, you will find yourself yet another Maiamai. And if we travel just south of that, well, we can find ourselves in between a group of trees, and if we cut down the bushes, we'll find ourselves another Maiamai. If you continue heading south, you'll eventually end up in this area where a pond would exist in Hyrule, but in Lowrule, there's just a Maiamai chilling on the wall, so pop it off and pick it up. If you head west from our previous location, you can find the next Maiamai on the southeast wall. Just plop it off, and you're good to go. If you head all the way left of the treacherous tower, you'll find yourself a giant boulder. Underneath it, well, guess what? It's another Maiamai! To the left of the broken bridge on Lowrule's Death Mountain, you'll find two giant boulders. Underneath one of them is a Maiamai. On the far bottom right of Lowrule's Death Mountain, you'll find a Maiamai. Merge onto the wall to pop it off, that way you can pick it up from the ground. If you head directly behind the ice ruins and merge onto the wall, well, guess what? You'll find the very next Maiamai. To the left of this portal, you'll find a skull on a ledge. If you break it, underneath is another Maiamai. And lastly, the final Maiamai is in the exact same spot where we got the last Maiamai in Hyrule. So there we go, we've finally gotten all 100 missing Maiamais. So what do you say we travel back to Hyrule and bring these Maiamais back to their mother? But before we do that, we're gonna stop off in Ravio's shop and actually purchase all of our rented items, because once we return these Maiamais, Mother Maiamai is going to upgrade our items, but we need to own them before she can do that. And since we have maxed out rupees, there is quite literally no better time to go and buy all of our items than right now. And all of the remaining items are going to be 800 rupees. So yeah, we have way more rupees than we actually need. However, there is a few other things that I would like to do before we end off this video, and that is going to be spending a majority of our remaining rupees after we buy all of these items. So I guess you could say this spending spree is my reward for collecting all 100 of those Maiamais. It's more of a personal reward than an actual in-game reward, but it is satisfying to be able to spend like all of this money. Plus, the upgrades that we get for collecting all 100 Maiamais are equally as cool for most of the items. I mean, some of the upgrades can be kind of lame, but for the most part, they are overall very good. And you do get a really cool, like, power-up, I guess you could say, if you do return all 100 Maiamais. But there we go, at last! I've sold all of my items! Good job, Ravio! Even though I bought them all. Yay for me! Yeah, congrats for you. Thanks to your efforts, Mr. Hero, I've made a great I've made a great friend. Yeah, right. And there's just one more thing. I'm closing down my shop. I mean, I've sold everything, so I can finally retire and live the good life. Whoop, whoop, boop, woo. Whoopie, doopie, doo. Does this mean I got my house back? Like, that's all I really want to know. Sorry, I just had to get that out of my system. I think I'm going to kick my feet up for a bit while I figure out what I'm going to do next. Well, have fun with that. Are you doing push-ups right now? Anyways, I just gotta bow down to you, Mr. Hero. I can't believe that you found so many rupees for me. I wouldn't exactly call it that, but whatever. Now, best of luck out there. Me no Shiro here will keep rooting for you. Alright, well, thank you very much, Ravio. So now that we've completely bought him out of items, we never have to visit the shop again. But we still need to go and talk to Mother Maiamai and return all 100 of her annoying children to her. How she lost all 100 of them, I have no idea. But whatever, we found them. So hello, Mother Maiamai. I knew you'd be able to help me. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Don't mention it. Now, unfortunately, we have to return these Maiamais 10 at a time, so yeah, this could take a while. Oh, I can make something of yours nicer. Please give it to Mother Maiamai. And every 10 Maiamais, she will offer to upgrade one of your items. And that does different things depending on the item. Like, for instance, the upgraded bow, which is going to be called the Nice Bow now, will shoot 3 arrows at once, which is actually really, really cool. I don't believe it does any more damage, though. But anyways, let's go ahead and give her 10 more Maiamais and see what item we can upgrade next. I do like, however, when you are upgrading an item, like the Maiamais sing to you. Alright, let's upgrade the Boomerang. Now, the Boomerang, although it is kind of like the most useless item, the Nice Boomerang allows you to fire 3 boomerangs at once, I believe, and it also increases the speed that they move and how far you can throw them. So I guess that's kind of nice, although you probably still won't ever use the Boomerang. Anyways, I'm just going to spam click A because I want this to go by faster, and our next upgrade is going to be for the Hookshot. Now, the Hookshot upgrade is actually kind of lackluster. Like, it doesn't make it shoot any farther, I don't believe. I believe the only difference is that it, like, shoots and retracts faster, and now it'll deal more damage to enemies. So, it's kind of like one of those upgrades. Like, it's not really that good or useful, but I guess, you know, it's there if you want it. Anyway, we're going to upgrade the Hammer now. Now, the Hammer is kind of cool because it actually gets a little bit bigger, so its range does, like, double, I would say. Like, even the shockwave range to, like, flip enemies over, I believe that increases. And it also does more damage. So the Hammer actually does get a pretty cool upgrade. It's just a shame that they really don't use the Hammer all that often in this game, because it actually is a really, really cool item in my opinion. Anyways, next we're going to upgrade the Bombs. Now, the Bomb upgrade is, well, I mean, it's kind of what you would expect from an upgrade to a bomb. It makes the bombs bigger, so it has, like, a much larger range, and it deals more damage. So, I mean, that's kind of what you would expect, but it's still a very, very cool and useful upgrade to the bombs. Anyway, let's see which of our items is up next. Alright, the Fire Rod. Now, the Fire Rod actually has a really, really good upgrade. So, the damage of it gets increased first and foremost. Then I believe, like, the fireball that it shoots out and the spiral that goes up is a little bit larger. And it also gets increased range. So, like, when you fire it out, it goes further. And that actually would be really helpful in the Treacherous Tower. But, of course, since we already did that, not really that useful to us. Anyways, the Ice Rod. This upgrade, unfortunately, isn't as cool as the one for the Fire Rod. But what it does allow you to do is create 4 ice shards. So I guess that's kind of useful. You know, if you were like trying to go through Turtle Rock still or any other lava area in the game, but I'm not sure how useful it's going to be to us since, you know, we're pretty much done with this game. Anyways, the Tornado Rod. Now, unfortunately, this is another one of those, like, pointless upgrades because the Tornado Rod's main purpose is to lift you up in the air. Its secondary purpose is used to, like, lift up rocks or stun enemies. So what the upgrade to the Tornado Rod does is just increase the radius that it can lift things up or stun enemies. Honestly, not that useful. Up next, though, we got the Sand Rod. Now, the Sand Rod, again, since it really only has, like, one purpose, the upgrade for it, really not that spectacular. But what the nice Sand Rod does allow you to do is create sand pillars that last longer. And that would have been really, really useful, you know, if we hadn't already completed the Desert Palace. But since we have, again, I'm not sure how much use we're going to get out of it. Anyway, you found all my babies. Please take this from Mother Maiamai. Yeah, since we don't have any more items to upgrade, Mother Maiamai is going to upgrade us. Yeah, how weird is that? And what this allows us to do is master the Great Spin. So now our spin attack is even more deadly and powerful. Mother Maiamai can't thank you enough. You found all my Maiamais. You're a nice child. Very nice. Well, thank you very much, Mother Maiamai. Alright, so now that we have successfully upgraded all of our items, what do you say we do some last minute side questing and collect like 2 more things? Because technically we've done every main thing in the game, but there are still 2 things that I would want to collect just for, you know, completionist sake. You don't really have to do this. If you wanted to, you could go straight to Lowrule Castle, but I kind of forgot about these things, and I want to do them real quick because, well, why not? We still have the rupees to do it. So first things first, we're going to head over to the Fairy Fountain by the Big Bomb Flower. That way we can get ourselves the last empty bottle. Now, I actually made a mistake the first time we came here. I said that you needed to donate 5,000 rupees. That is in fact incorrect. You only need to donate 3,000 rupees to get the empty bottle. Now, unfortunately, we can only donate 200 at a time, so yeah, this is actually going to take a while. But through the magic of editing, I will see you guys when we're done. Alright, that should do it. I have grown much thanks to you. Let me give you this bottle. May it prove useful in your travels. Well, thank you very much, Fairy. But yeah, for throwing away 3,000 rupees, we get an empty bottle. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like, the reward could have been a lot cooler, but I will take it. Anyways, there is one more thing that I would like to do here in Lowrule, and that would require us to travel to the Skull Woods. Now, this is something that a lot of people probably wouldn't even bother doing or going after, or maybe a lot of people don't even know about. And honestly, I can't blame them because what we're about to get isn't really needed. Like, if I didn't want 100% this game, I wouldn't even bother going after this. But remember way back when we talked to the guy inside the bee shop in Hyrule? Well, he was talking about a golden bee. Now, we actually did get a golden bee to appear naturally when we were doing the Hyrule Hotfoot race. But, you know, since I was kind of in the middle of a race, I ignored it and didn't bother catching it. Thankfully, I think the game creators knew that most people wouldn't like catch a golden bee the first time they see it, so they added something nice. All the way in the top of the Lost Woods, there's this cave, and inside, well, there's this creepy guy. So they finally sent a rescue party. Eh? Wait, you're no party, you're just a kid. Let me guess, you came in here looking for some extreme fun in the great outdoors, huh? Yeah, I've been running crazy in these woods, running till I got dizzy. Trunking, I call it. Is it like planking? I trunked and trunked round these trees until I finally lost my way. Been sitting here ever since. Where'd you get all this stuff? But I found a great treasure in the woods. Maybe you'd care to take it off my hands. It's a little something I picked up when I got stuck. I just decided to keep it. How is 888 rupees sound? It's a steal of a deal. And he doesn't know it, but that actually is a very good deal for us because we got a golden bee. Really? You just buy an unknown thing and blindly trust some stranger like that? You shouldn't be so trusting, man. That's how I got like this, except minus the whole buying part. Well, what this guy doesn't know is, if you don't catch a golden bee somewhere out in the wild, he's actually the cheapest place to get it because all of the other shops here in Lowrule will sell you a golden bee, but for the price of 9,999 rupees. So, yeah, 888, not a bad deal at all. Now that we got this, though, what do you say we travel back to Hyrule and give this to the bee guy? That way we can get our final piece of gear from him. And I know some of you guys are probably curious as to what this final piece of gear is. Like, it's got to be something good, right? I mean, we did have to go all the way to some creepy guy in some cave inside the Skull Woods just to find the golden bee so we could trade it for this piece of gear. So, I mean, it's got to be like one of the best things in the game, right? Well, you're about to find out. Let's just go and talk to this bee guy. Oh, be still my beating heart, is this? Oh my, it is! It's a golden bee! Thank you, she's very bewitching, don't you think? That golden glow, that sweet note of honey that lingers in the air, and so regal, a queen of bees! She's perfect! You have outdone yourself, so please take this as thanks, Buzz. And with that, we get the bee badge. So now, when we're out in the wild and we cut grass, bees won't bother us. That's the bee badge. As long as you have that with you, bees will be friendly. No more stings. Of course, you know what that means. You can find me even more bees. It should be a breeze. Keep up the good work, Buzz Buzz. Yeah, a bee badge. That's what we get for giving him a golden bee. Now, if you bring him more golden bees, he'll give you 300 rupees, but still, really not that useful. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for this episode. So if you enjoyed this part, like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.